Lex, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Jeff. How are you?
All good. How was the holidays?
Good. It's just that it feels like I didn't have time to do what I want to do for Christmas, Thanksgiving. I'm still thinking about like how the year went so fast.
Yeah, it's weird because San Antonio, we don't get like the super like season change. We don't go from spring to fall to summer. It's like summer and fall. And that's pretty much it.
True. Yeah. Like, look at now. We are 80 degrees. And
Yeah.
we are already in January.
Yeah, it's January 2nd and it's 80 degrees.
Yeah, you know what? I think for me, I think I spent so much. Well, I don't want to say but it's just the elections. I mean, it took a lot of my time, the voting, debating what will be our next president. And then it was Thanksgiving, and then it was just crazy.
Yeah, I voted in the primaries, and then I saw what we had left, and I was like, what, I washed my hands of this. I'm going to be guilty. I feel guilty either way, so, forget about it. But in the primaries, I was kind of rooting for Sanders. I liked a lot of what he had to say. The whole socialism thing bothered a lot of people, but I think he was just kind of calling it like you see it. We've got some socialist programs in existence, and like Medicare, Medicaid, these are not bad things to have.
True.
You got to have some kind of safety net, and calling it democratic socialism was just like calling it as he sees it to me, but a lot of people were really bothered by that word.
Yeah.
But it was funny because I talked to Republicans that would be like, I agree with 75% of what Bernie Sanders says, but socialism. And I don't think that he could have got some of his more radical things passed anyways.
Yeah.
So I didn't see him as being such a harmful 4-year experiment.
Yeah, true. Well,
Yeah.
especially here in Texas. I mean, 90% I think is Republican, so.
Yeah, 90. Yeah, so really, I mean, what was I gonna do? Go out
True.
and vote for Jill Stein? Yeah, where's that gonna get me?
True. But hey, I mean, we have great hopes for 2017. 2016 ended. I mean, for me, it was a great year. I mean,
Yeah.
new opportunities for 2017. Looking forward.
And let's be hopeful.
Yeah, that's
Because
all.
really, the state we're in right now, at least here at home in the United States, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, things aren't bad. People act like things are so much worse than they are. We're doing pretty good. So we can hang on to what we got and keep it going. Hey, I'm going to be optimistic.
Yeah, me too.
We wrapped up 2016 with a remix of the song Rear View by Substance Abuse featuring KRS-One. We're going to start right back off right here with the original version of that song, and then I'll go into my interview with S.O. Trey of Substance Abuse.
Big up substance abuse. Damn. That's a double metaphor with that one. I watch this. Yo, it's true, there's nothing new under the sun. Before Johnny Cash, men was singing about guns, was all about flash, or just wanna have fun, was trying to get to mass, or was taking you to class. But y'all got ADD. If I'm gonna listen, y'all better make me think why you say these things. And you don't have to rap about saving trees. It's understood that we're all about making cheese, but your number one goal should be how to blaze these beats. We running the track like our brains and cleats, but that defying feats that fly in the streets. And I know where to land. This is hip hop, but if you say jump, I don't say when. Respect the past, live in the now, and leave something for the hereafter. Perfect this craft like the blast master. And if you ain't caring, staring right past it. And it's not just because I'm an arrogant bastard.
We pick up Red Rap, we pick up KRS, and your sub, where you at? In the future I can see that we never going back. Like a train, I'm on this track for whatever, never back. Hey yo, pick up SOJ, hey, pick up Red Rap, we pick up KRS, and your sub, where you at? In the future I can see that we never going back. Like a train, I'm on this track for whatever, never back. MCing is my craft, sir. I perceive things faster. I come from my future, not my past, sir. I'm smooth like lacquer. We were taught that the past comes first and the future comes after. But the year doesn't matter. I appear as a rapper with rap, S.O. Trey in the hereafter, where time doesn't pass ya. And you can ask the master what comes after, and he replies laughter. The future we after is past disasters, past slashes, flashes, and gun blasters. We don't need apocalyptic pastors pumping fear faster. Here to blast master and laugh at actors. No more backstabbers, the governments are non-factor. So we pick up SO3, and we pick up Red Rap. We pick up KRS, and yo, sub, where you at? In the future, I can see that we never going back. Like a train, I'm on this track, forward ever, never back. Hey, yo, pick up SO3, and pick up Red Rap. We pick up KRS, and yo, sub, where you at? In the future, I can see that we never going back. Like a train, I'm on this track, forward ever, never back.
Ask me what's more dismal, the future or the past. Cause in the past, rappers had more respect, pub and cash, plus a lot of flash. Guest list for clubs and crafts. Promo visit played on TV, LPs was selling fast. Who could tell that wouldn't last? Remember getting advances, now we advance into a future that seems to have less chances. The past just seemed less scandalous. No labels was so shady, now I just wish there was still some labels left to pay me. But stressing this is crazy, cause we're never going back. Gotta focus on the merch, the tours, the shows we're rap. Still appreciated cause these peeps are disinjaded. Want a future where you don't have to rap like shit to make it. Cause facts have been misstated when it comes to who's the dopest. Got love for yesteryear, but the future's where we're focused. The future where the hope is. True artists stock some bread, trying to keep some hope alive for the times we got ahead.
So we pick up SO3, and we pick up Red Rap. We pick up KRS, and yo, sub, where you at? In the future, I can see that we never going back. Like a train, I'm on this track, forward ever, never back. Hey, yo, pick up SO3, and pick up Red Rap. We pick up KRS, and yo, sub, where you at? In the future, I can see that we never going back. Like a train, I'm on this track, forward ever, never back.
Yo, crazy shout out to my man Don Shalon. The Don Ways One, you know what I'm saying? The original 6 Sense crew, DJ Lion, Cutmaster Kirk. And of course, the Blast Master KRS-One. We ain't never looking back, you know what I'm saying? It's time to move forward.
SO Trey, welcome to the show. How you doing, my man?
Chilling, man. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. I tell you what, man, I've been getting more and more entries for the music lately, and when I came across yours, I was a bit excited because it had that feeling that a lot of hip hop music has been missing lately. At least what we, what's easy to find out there. Because I found that like there's actually a lot of great hip hop out there if you're willing to dig. But for everything that reaches the surface, it's like pitiful, and a lot of people feel like they gotta mimic that in order to get somewhere. Seems like you guys have a different recipe. Tell me a little bit about where you came from and how you guys got started, because you've been doing this for quite some time now, and have rocked with some legendary MCs. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, basically, we're a couple of LA cats. We grew up on the hip hop scene that was more like the house party hip hop. It wasn't really like before it had gotten more club oriented or whatever.
Yeah. And
our first interaction with hip hop was really through that kind of like unsanitized, kind of unmediated format, which is basically just going to a house party where some DJ was spinning or whatever. And so you kind of had this more intimate kind of relationship with the music. That's kind of how we first started to learn about it. We didn't learn about it through the internet or whatever, or YouTube and all that stuff.
Right.
So
well, there was no internet.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, we both went to college in different places. I met a producer in college that was really dope, and he was this cat named Noah. He was basically like really on the jazz kind of flavor that we liked a lot.
Yeah.
And we just started. We decided we were going to do an EP. We were going to call the EP Substance Abuse, and then the producer was like, "No, let's call the group Substance Abuse." And when he said that, I really knew what he meant. It wasn't about, we were never going to be valorizing, literal substance abuse, but it was more about, abuse is a word that relates to excess. We're excessively concerned with putting substance in the music. And that's kind of what the name has always meant. As KRS says on the track, he's like, there's a double meaning. We never even explained that to him, but he knew that,
Yeah.
So basically, we put out an EP in the late 90s. It was on a cassette. It got out there to a surprising amount of people that, it even got some write-ups, and we weren't trying to get press or anything, but there was like a cat that listed it as one of his top 5 releases for that year and stuff like that. And then we ended up getting a record deal in the late 90s, 1999, 2000 era, with the label called Ground Control / New Groove Alliance, and they were dealing with a lot of big artists at the time, like AC Alone and Rascal, Planet Asia, Kool Keith, and people like that.
Yeah. Well, I see 1998, right? Brand New Crime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So that was the beginning. Put out a 12-inch to Ground Control. Ground Control, great label, great people, but unfortunately, it was mired by a lot of internal difficulties at a time where the music industry was starting to kind of take a shift.
Yeah.
And it was just not the right time to have this kind of internal struggle going on, because you really need to have a solid front at that time.
Yeah.
So they went under, and we were left with basically half an album with no money. And they had helped us in a certain respect in building all these contacts, one of whom was Cutmaster Kurt. Many people know as being Kool Keith, right-hand man and producer and so forth.
Yeah.
And he was like, he put out the 12-inch with MF Doom and Rascal. Him and Fat Beats put that out, and then he's like, you guys got an album, I'll put it out, and he wanted to hear it, obviously. And we ended up, putting out our first album on his label. It's called Overproof. Got 4 stars in Herb, 4 stars in Scratch Magazine, both two prominent written publications at the time.
Yeah.
Some other people had given it the high mark.
Trying to play humble, talking behind your back, saying this and that. We got something for y'all. I'm in the house with substance abuse, and we're here to give y'all something that'll make your ears pop. Yo, break it down like this.
Before you put your trust in a rapper, just take a long, hard look at what he's after. And you may be surprised once the chapter's closed when someone try to revise, rekindle, revive. But most fail to realize it's real hard when real losers know you're a fraud. Self-disclosure, the crux of your facade in this quest for novelty. But the truth's absolving me of coming faulty when I state I'm not used to winning. Cause the truth is, I'm a loser with women. Now how's that for shock value only? It's not a gimmick as much as I wish it was, man. It really isn't the same ploy a lot of toys used to get over. Playing sober in an era where it's hit to be square. The most arrogant rappers would brag about being scared to get your attention, and it could work to mention this, but tell them they're really suckers. Watch them get pissed, it's like a fake psychic finding out she's got the gift, but they would sooner dismiss. Clairvoyance as a myth, then admit to enjoying this brazen display of vocals, poking fun at you apocryphal hip-hop moguls. Sucker rappers that shun rap hopefuls, that's so low. Playing your fans for some suckers who don't know. It's time to reacquaint yourself with real fear, not that sanitized version you've been pushing for years.
Cause everyone's a critic, ourselves included. If they say it's cool, it means they don't really like your music. If they say it's got strong points, they don't find it compelling. Even if the shit's on point, there ain't no way of telling. Cause everyone's a critic, myself included. If they say it's cool, it means they don't really like your music. If they say it's got strong points, they don't find it compelling. Even if the shit's on point, there really ain't no telling.
When the call for righteousness falls back on cliches, the darkest days have descended. And since they prey on those who make our fight for truth less inventive, we're presented with renewed incentive. Not the cynicism we use to cushion our fall, not the fear which resides behind your willingness to brawl, not the false stoicism that's killing us all, not the sworn complicity with the norm you call authenticity, often confused with simplicity. But being shallow ain't the same as being hard. I guess you'll never learn that until someone pulls your card, scarred while viewing unbridled carnage from afar. Too wild for sun to spar, but we've been putting in work. I'll be the first to clean your clock like a clerk. If asserting my rights means I gotta strike you where it hurts, no compunctions when it comes to punching or something worse. But before all of y'all, I thought I paid that balls, but cynics don't revere style, so that won't happen. In fame we don't lust, and God we do trust. One critic dismissed us, but the crowd kept clapping. So pass the peas, but please hold the estrogen. That's for these tastemakers hating us to get their second win, embracing a lie that our opinions ain't affecting them. Like Rascal will tell you, there ain't no use in stressing when
Everyone's a critic, ourselves included. If they say it's cool, it means they don't really like your music. If they say it's got strong points, they don't find it compelling. Even if the shit's on point, there really ain't no telling. Cause everyone's a critic, myself included. If they say it's cool, it means they don't really like your music. If they say it's got strong points, they don't find it compelling. Even if the shit's on point, there really ain't no telling. Cause everyone's a critic. Yo, Rascal, substance abuse.
The sales, were not there. So we were kind of put back in a position where, again, we were like working with limited resources.
Right.
And we just still, we were still able to put another album together called Background Music, which had Tash, MCA, KRS-One, you know what I'm saying, Sadat X, and so forth. And then we just recently put out this EP called Background Music The Redux,
Nice.
which is just remixes.
Yeah, I was going through that, man. Like, I gotta be honest with you. I'm really disappointed in myself because, like, I really try to stay up on real good hip hop music, and I had I probably forgot about you guys, honestly. But I want to say, like, it's a shame. I'm like shamed of myself. Like, how the fuck did I not know about these dudes? Like, seriously, man. But I know that, it's easy to get lost in that, there's so many good groups, but then there's so much trash out there. So it's like, it's almost like you're waiting for that bottle with the secret message to wash up onto the shore, you know what I mean? And that's how I felt when I opened up that email the other day, and it was like I popped the cork, and there was the message like, "Hey, this is a beautiful track right here, man."
Thank you.
So I want to hear, like I hear that jazz influence actually. So you guys must be fans of some classic music because there's a lot of horns in the tracks. There's a lot of I could tell the rhythms and stuff are coming from. It's a little bit deeper, you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we grew up, on jazz. It wasn't called jazz hip hop, but if you listen to obviously old Gangstar,
yeah,
I mean all that stuff, Main Source, Brand Nubian, whatever, they were pulling from jazz, and that's what we really were feeling, that's what drew me a lot to the beat aspect of it. Like if a cat. Like a dude like a Large Professor or Pete Rock or whatever, like you hear these tracks where they got these crazy horns and everything. I was just like, man, that to me is just, beautiful music.
Definitely.
And we wanted to replicate that, especially right now when, they're still pulling from jazz, on beats and stuff, but it's not, the horns aren't there as much and that kind of flavor is not there as much.
Yeah.
And we wanted to just bring back that vibe, just kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's still hip hop, but we love the jazz, the old jazz, and we wanted to always kind of like bring that to the surface too with our music,
Yeah, you can feel it. So how do you feel about like the current state of hip hop?
I mean, I'm not, I think people are a little surprised because when they hear our music, they kind of figure that I might be like some kind of like hip-hop misanthrope, when it comes to what's going on now. But I do like, some of the stuff that's coming out now. I think, like, even, like kind of what you were describing earlier, kind of like finding that diamond in the rough, even with some of these dudes that are popular, or maybe, like, kind of on that middle ground. Like, when I listen to, like, it means some obvious people, probably like a Kendrick Lamar or Schoolboy Q or somebody like that.
Yeah, that's quality.
These dudes, these cats can really rap.
No doubt.
Even in the mid kind of 2000 era, there was stuff that was surprising me, and I would hear beats from like 666 Mafia or like listen to Paul Wall's album or something like that.
Yeah.
And it sounded like real hip hop. I mean, even though these cats are not typically characterized that way, I'm like, this is like you listen to Paul Wall's album, I was like, this is a straight up hip hop album, and like, or you listen to like some of the beats that Juicy J uses, I mean, he does have like jazz kind of influence in there too. So there's people that you'd be surprised if you're like a quote unquote, underground kind of hip hop type of cat, you'll be surprised at what some of these, commercial artists will do. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely open to a lot of the new stuff, and I like some of the new stuff. Unfortunately, I just don't get that incentivized about a lot of new music because it just, frankly, it doesn't excite me that much. If there's something out there that really piques my interest, I will go and buy the CD. I bought the new Tribe Called Quest album.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
CD, yeah, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That
So,
was a
I'm-
refreshing little thing right there. Like the new Tribe was it was beautiful. Like I didn't expect it to be as good as it was, but that one did not let us down.
Yeah, exactly, man. And it's selling well too. You know, and that's the thing is like
Good sign.
it's proof that quality. I don't think that this is necessarily like that people don't appreciate quality anymore, but the music industry has become so much about branding, and I think that's where a group like Substance Abuse kind of got lost in the shuffle, is because we never had like some kind of like big, corporation pumping us.
Right.
We never had like some big hip hop artist co-signing us saying it's okay to like them, or whatever. We were just basically on our own, I mean, we did have the benefit of having a lot of features from artists that people knew about.
Yo.
But again, we're not affiliated with any known camp or anything like that.
Right.
And because of that, people kind of, I think, overlooked us.
Insecurity had me roaming kids who pack guns, not because it was from some family that lacked funds. So you were mistaken to accuse me of thugging. Then again, why assume that I wasn't abusing the substance? See the bruise and the buzz went with the music we love. Yet the influence of drugs meant some were doomed to get sucked in. Reluctant to admit it. Crack a weed, laser speed, you'd be surprised who would hit it. The wealthiest patrons, all for recreation, cause rich kids ain't really got shit to escape from. Some parents knew the deal. Some would just play dumb, or thought it was a phase, or could it be phase one? Coming of age, another stage we stayed numb. The statement being made was conveyed in a way some had trouble understanding. Scuffles, guns were brandished, bandits who up the ante for annexes. Blush canvas was not known for being the home of such scandalous. Kids prone to damage your wig, though the madness had its appeal. It was a chance to be real. Suppressed loathing for these Western ideals now revealed itself in the form of graffiti and drugs. Wealthy kids transform into the seediest thugs. I observed savage beatdowns that occurred, cause the line between the hood and the burbs was now blurred. Seen it happen the last place you'd imagine kids sagging. Fuck a pageant, it's all about jacking, steady racking, paint and tagging. Acting like you got no pity, that's a fact they don't know about this part of the city. Seen it happen the last place you'd imagine kids sagging. Fuck a pageant, it's all about jacking, steady racking, paint and tagging. Acting like you got no pity, that's a fact they don't know about this part of the city.
The bus for subs was the key to the city streets. MTA wins RTD, everything to reach from East LA, Leimert to Venice Beach. What was fresh looking back was so weak. Yeah, coming up, I thought I was so cold. Fold clothes and folders, backpack tricks were immaculate. Map plans to rack cans. Lucky I'm not from Afghanistan, cause they would've hacked my hands and that'd be appalling. Cause my master plan was to rap and be recording. Since the days of digit class and tricking 40s. As a shorty, was a snob for the cron weed. Yeah, as a youngster, I knew how to break some rules. Raid neighbors' yards and skate they pools. Maybe go to a mall and take some shoes. Or hook up with a broad and shake her fruit. Nowadays I'm confused, what's paying dues? Moving in circles reminds me of high school. Only difference is I've acquired more life tools. Like avoiding monkey wrenches, never getting screwed.
Respect on the streets is more or less, violence, whatever, fighting, stealing, robbing, killing, whatever it is that you gotta do.
Seen it happen the last place you'd imagine kids sagging. Fuck a pageant, it's all about jacking, steady racking, paint and tagging. Acting like you got no pity, that's a fact they don't know about this part of the city. Seen it happen the last place you'd imagine kids sagging. Fuck a pageant, it's all about jacking, steady racking, paint and tagging. Acting like you got no pity, that's a fact they don't know about this part of the city.
There's different kinds of people involved in music, and there's certainly there's the people that can latch on to the idea of making money and getting famous and all this stuff, and I can understand, I guess, that angle to it. But then there's people that just really appreciate making great music and being able to reflect on it. Like as you get older, like myself, I never made it at all, but I've always been a hip hop artist and I love doing it. And then me being able to go back and I can listen to stuff that I've got archived from when I was like 14 years old, and it might not be great, you know what I mean? But like when I go back and listen to it, it's like, I recognize what I did, and it's just a feeling. It's almost like that is the driving force behind
to me a lot of the real artists.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely, man.
No
And that's
doubt.
a piece of you that you left on this planet, you know what I mean, that no one can take away from you. And that's really, you know, what it's all about at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
I definitely, I feel you on that one.
So I get the feeling you guys must be around my age. I'm like 38 right now. You guys around in that ballpark, I imagine?
Yeah, that's about the ballpark we're in.
Yeah.
You know, I think some people probably think that we're younger than we are, like, or maybe some people think we're older. I don't know. You know, we don't. It's not something typically that comes up a lot for us. But I think one of the things that I found very interesting was, you know, one of the major changes that has happened in hip hop that no one really talks about is that ageism is not a big deal anymore.
Right.
And you have, like, because I remember back in the day reading The Source, there was a prominent hip hop artist that was like, I'm not trying to be a 30-year-old rapper. They're out there. So that was like, you know, I'm like, that was they're like 30 is the cutoff, you know, and I'm like, nah, man, like, that can't be right, you know? And
Right.
I mean, I believed it at the time, but, you know, when you start to get a little bit older, you're like, 30 really isn't that old. You
It's
know?
not,
And
man.
at the end of the day, you know, you really, it's not about, you know, how old you are. It's about, you know, your experience,
Yeah.
you know, and what you can bring to the table. And I'm not just saying that, you know, in terms of wishful thinking. Like, I honestly believe that, you know, a kid who's like 17, 18, 19,
Doesn't have the
they hear
experience.
they might not have the experience, but there's also the other thing too, is that if they hear a dude the dude could be 50 or whatever, but if they hear the cat really putting it down, they're not going to care. You know, they appreciate that. So that I think is you know, for all the kind of, you know, talk about hip hop's kind of decline, I think that's one of the major positive aspects that has changed in the last couple of decades.
Yeah, because I do feel that there's a mature lane right now being created where artists our age are they're getting their own shine. It may be separated from what the kids are listening to, but we grew up on hip hop. We love hip hop. We're not gonna give up on hip hop. And you know, for groups like The Roots and Joel Ortiz and, you know, like you know, Slaughterhouse is more on that mature lane. Royce and all them. You know, there's definitely now a good group of mature artists that are able to talk, you know, Common, you know, able to talk about more mature things and actually get the respect and even radio play a little bit, you know. So it's both good and bad, the whole internet phase where we can you can download whatever, you can listen to whatever. It's like now there's new outlets and there's new ways to get music out there. It's just I think it's harder to channel that you know, like in the 90s, it was pretty easy for a good, strong hip-hop group to get on your regular spins and all that. Those days are probably gone, but at least we can still get the music out there. We can get some ears on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the main difference between the mentality of now and the mentality of 20 years ago was like, you know, I could be at a hip-hop club in LA in the 90s and some dude who has never been heard by anyone could get up on stage, and if he put it down, people would be like, "Oh man, that dude killed it." We don't need to know who he is to like him, you know. We don't need someone else to tell us it's okay. Whereas now it's like, you know, unless people know you, they don't accept you, even if you are good. And to me, that's more idolatry than it is really music appreciation.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, good way to put it. Good way to put it. Yeah, that's true. Because, you know, it's hard for me to understand sometimes, like, how some of these dudes get popular. I'm like, this dude is not, he's not spitting at all. Like, how do you even get a deal with, like, lyrics that are so, like, half-ass? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that. Like, to me, who's the guy that's, like, listening to somebody like Yachty or some shit spit and be like, yeah, I gotta sign that.
subs will hit you like your old granddaddy buzz and act nuts. And you know that's what's up, don't pass up an opportunity to rhyme most dutifully, like it's in front of a royal court. But usually it's a dead crowd of the spoiled sort who wouldn't get loud if you spilled on them boiled water. They ain't fooling my plot to rock you. Get it off your chest, homie, I'll spot you. When I'm on the scene, these cats stay nervous. I keep it way more clean. I made service, moving this contraband across the land, banging harder than pots and pans from starving Somalians, floating black star lines, so call me Marcus Garvey. Like MCs, I'll devour you, but I'm a germaphobe like Howard Hughes. If you a weak MC, a virgin, I'll deflower you, cause it look like you got that good power, you.
Not moving hastily, that's news. So some can't wait to see the look in their face when we get booked in the place to be. Substance abuse, two cats with true ambition, maybe nothing to you, but do stack to you that listen to the music we make. It's proof that we ain't fake. Fake moves and meet your fate, stay true and see this trait. Place you up at the top, they might touch you. Just saying what I watch, ain't trying to knock your hustle. Ain't got no Glock to bust you, just tacked it out display. That takes a lot of nuts too, no matter what they say. The trade ain't no hater, though I'm not driven by ends. One who stays transcendent and still blends in. Something few can lay claim to. You struggle to name who. Conclusion I came to, the truth is too painful. Try to hide it with the coolest of slang used, but same blues. Cause my heart's torn like the gang troops. Got angst you can never understand. Friends who tag bang to the end. When it's crews versus gangs, who's gonna win? Who's to blame when you can? Who used to ride surfboards is taking cues from juice. With groups fighting turf wars in a city where even wannabes become some G's. At least to some degree, being in the company of thieves and thugs means prestige and love. But what's to say about the country that's breeding us?
Yo, you should keep quiet while the MC rap. Your attitude is so tired and need to go take a nap. A track drowning out the background chatter with the smack talking verse. Spit over that, ba-boom bap. Rock the platter off that brand new wax. It don't get fatter. Do it to a pack, toss a whack pack scatter. Ways to pass, yeah, you know I got action. For now, just play my words real close like closed caption. We won't play the back.
The Redux came out, I think it was last month. So was it?
Okay,
yeah,
so it is brand new,
yeah,
straight. Okay.
Yeah, brand new. It actually honors an idea that we had initially had about background music, was that we were going to split it into 2 albums because it was about tracks. But then we're like, you know what, 18 tracks is not that excessive, so we're like, we'll put it out. But we had some remixes and some stuff that had been floating around. We really wanted to, do a remix EP too. So we were just like, this will kind of honor the original idea. They'll get people to go back and look at background music, the original version of it. And we connected with Ways One, who did a lot of the production on our first album. Our homie from high school, this cat named The Stig, the dude, he ain't a producer, but he picks the loops, and he knows how to find stuff that fits us. And because he was that cat that was, chilling with us back in the day and absorbing all that and so forth. I mean, he has a musical ear.
Yeah.
So, we keep it very, within the camp. We got a lot of people that just kind of be like, our friends that we grew up with, and they're like, hey, man, you got to check this loop out. And So, yeah, it's a family-oriented project, you could say, and it's something that we wanted to put out until we get a chance to put our third album out, which we're working on right now.
Okay, so you are working on a new album. Great.
Yep.
Yeah, because, across the board, your shit is like 5 stars.
Thank you, man.
Yo, seriously, Overproof, and it's not just me, your ratings, the people that do, it's like as soon as people hear you, they love you, especially if it's, if it's a real hip hop head. Because you got that sound, man. There's an authenticness there. And, look, MF Doom, Pointless Thoughts. Yeah. That was a great track. You know what I mean?
Thank you, man.
Rearview with KRS-One. Great track.
one of the illest KRS-One verses I ever heard. I mean, hey. Yeah.
We don't need apocalyptic pastors pumping fear. Yeah, he was killing on that, man.
Yeah, man, it was beautiful. But you know, you got that vibe, you got that feeling, and you know that's what he heard, and that's what he felt. You know what I mean? Like there's a certain I don't know, there's a feeling you get if you're a hip hop head and you hear that right track. You know what I mean? And it's hard to explain. It's hard to, you know, when you grew up when we did, you remember that feeling when you were at a house party and the DJ was fucking it up and he put on some track that you're like, maybe you never even heard before, but you were open-minded. You know what I mean? Like it's a different crowd nowadays where you could, like, cause you know, I'll DJ some parties and it's funny how I throw on a song and nobody likes it, and then like 2 months later it's on the radio and then everybody's requesting it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
but when we were young, we would look for the DJ to throw on that track that we never heard that will blow our minds. You know what I mean? It has changed like that, and I think that's part of what hurts me is, you know, like you younger cats out there, if you're listening, be open-minded. You know, let yourself experience music that you haven't heard, because there's some really good stuff out there, and you don't have to get approval from radio stations, or you know, you don't have to be led to appreciate stuff. Just appreciate stuff because you know, do some digging.
Take it from a boozer's used to being screwed up. That dude with Grey Goose who abuse ain't nothing new to the trades. Proof of what too much gin and juice does. A straight shooter. The way I say the truth to the masses. Anthrax who's back this nasty self. Who the Mac is. That cat laying on his back with foam coming out the mouth the next day. Not a unique occurrence for the SO tray. From laying on sidewalks, throwing up hard, to waking up in the backseat of my own car, to roaming the bar. Looking for a dame to get with, but getting cold stares. Shrugs and fake digits remain twisted. Just ask the one subs, cause we some drinking partners like the young bloods. Some talk about drugs, running from fuzz, but I'm a simple man. I just wanna catch a buzz at those LA house parties where kids was wildin' to the days of blacking out off Bacardi Lime. And the bottle is what followed the boy into a man. And the sad truth is, it made me who I am. But damn, man, I'm trying to put this shit on you. Fuck that.
Me a glass of that real live shit. Probably by the end of the night, I have to spit. Lord knows who's in the bed next to me. She's a beautiful girl, but there's dope on the floor, so I guess I did Earl. What's your name, huh, Pearl? Listen up, mama, you got to go. I'm still fucked up, so show yourself to the dough. I remember the last call, and that's about all. Oh yeah, I took a piss and almost fell out in the stall. Oh man, right now my head is spinning. And just a few hours ago, though, I was winning. Jesus, I swear I'll never drink again. Ain't nothing left in my stomach and I'm peeing straight gin. But it's Sunday, the game coming on and I'ma smoke. By then maybe I can handle a little light rum and coke. As long as I don't go for broke, I should be cool. I gotta work on Monday, ain't trying to hug the stool. On the weekend, I'm a drinking fool. So what? 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna empty my gut. But I'm gonna stay with my cowboy strut.x. If I pay for these shots, then you definitely got the next. I got these, you get the next.
Started back when I was short. Started back when I was short. When I get drunk, I might act too cool.
Going out, just trying to catch a buzz. Waking up next morning not knowing where I was. Overslept breakfast, woke up and lost my lunch. It's a telltale sign of when I know I drunk too much. Last night was a blur, coming back to me in pieces. Some of it was good, the rest I wish I had amnesia. Alcohol may not solve all my problems, but neither will water or milk. So I keep ordering rounds, just put it on the bill. And I'm feeling real generous. Doesn't matter if I walked in with 2, and now there's 10 of us. I'm starting not to care who I end up with. Talking to a girl who looks like a beer model. Or could it be that I'm wearing beer goggles? I'm sobering up, homie, pass me that clear bottle. This is no time for judgment. Look how drunk I am. The only good move I made was ordering a taxi. So I enjoy this fatty over a fatty. But first I have to ask the cabbie to hit the liquor store, so I can get a few things to get it on, to put it in position for Kama Sutra to figure 4.
Started back back when I was short. I got stressed, I said, ooh, damn. Alcoholism started back when I was short. I got stressed, I said, ooh, damn. A 40 ounce. Just one more 40, just one more, I'll make this my last day.
But and maybe it's just because of where I came from as a DJ and producer. I was always digging, you know. So maybe that's just me.
No, I think that touches on it. Definitely, it's like, you know, it's. I think Cutmaster Kurt had a really good analogy. He was like saying it's like McDonald's is everywhere, but if you want a good restaurant, you actually got to look for it. You know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of music right now. It's McDonald's. You know, it's fast food.
Yeah.
And it ain't gonna really give you that kind of nourishment. But if you know, go actually looking for a good restaurant, that's gonna be, you know, the place that you remember. You know.
Yeah.
So. But unfortunately, yeah, I mean, there's not enough people that want to take a proactive role in their music, you know, consumption, and it's more about just kind of, you know, the internet and who's got the most Instagram followers and all this nonsense, you know. And,
yeah.
And you know, I think a lot of times too, you know, and I've said this before, is like you go on YouTube or whatever, and there's a cat that has 50 million views or whatever, right?
Right.
And they have people that pump up the numbers, you know, they can crank the numbers out. They might be legit too, but the point is that dude may not be as good as the guy who has 500 views, but unfortunately, people just kind of assume, like, okay, well, everyone's on this, you know, the numbers are reflecting some sort of interest in this cat.
Yeah.
So we got to pay attention to him before we're going to pay attention to the dude who's not the social media star, you know. The
next album now you're working on right now, what's the projection for that? You feel like that's going to be coming out in the next couple of years, or?
I would say that safely to give us, you know, some time.
Yeah.
You know, I think that it's going to be a little bit of a different direction to us, a little bit for us, I should say. It's still gonna be the same lyrical, you know, stuff that we always come with, same dope beats.
Yeah.
But we want to kind of amplify the intensity a little bit. And you know, there's a lot of stuff, crazy stuff going on in the world right now, you know, and you know, we observe everything that's going on, and we write about it, and we take it in, we try to put out our perspective on it. So, you know what I mean? It might be, you know, a little bit down the road, but it is in the works.
Yeah.
And until that time, we just, you know, we hope that, you know, we're able to connect with as many people as we can that, you know, have maybe missed our first two albums, that have missed this new EP that we just dropped. And we're hoping that more people come back, you know, because of people like you that give us airplay and so forth, that people come back and check us out, and they're like, oh, okay, we really slept on these dudes.
Yeah.
And we've definitely, I mean, we've been at shows and clubs where cats have come up to us and be like, oh, you're the dude from Substance Abuse or whatever.
Yeah.
And that always is kind of, we're always surprised, you know, too. We're like, oh, man, that's really dope that somebody knows who we are, you know, so.
Nah, people bound to know, I mean.
Yeah. You know. So, yeah, and we got, you know, a lot of, you know, I think one of the really greatest things that I think has ever happened to us, you know, in terms of, like, the artists that we've worked with is, like, they really had a sincere appreciation for what we were doing when we kicked it with, you know, MF Doom.
Yeah.
We talked to Kick Press, you know, we talked to, you know, Saphir and stuff. Like, they were like, man, y'all, you know, they really appreciated what we were doing. They could tell that we were influenced by them.
All right, now we gonna tear things up. What's up with this mic? So how come this mic sound blurry? I know it ain't starting now, right?
I'm gonna go home and shit and listen to this. I'm no star, I'm the farthest. I'm a starving artist who's taking out the garbage. To your promoters with shitty business sense, we burn tougher than sticky doja, so don't give us stress. We no longer paying a cost and taking a loss for saying thoughts of relevance. We know how Native feels running for president, underrepresented, so I've elected to live present progressive and not to be bit by the same thought twice. Blazing new directions, picking up the same old mic. Why should I hate all life? I'm no nihilist, just save yourself strife and refrain from trying this. You gon' cheat me, you're gonna get yours, believe me. And don't assume I'm talking about violence, I'm moving silent, sir. West Sider, reside in the woods, so I know about hoods and wolves and sheep's clothing. Fear and loathing, always share when I'm flowing. Even when I'm told what's owed me is no thing, no way. Got me like OJ on a cocaine road rage with a cold blade. slashing like Kobe, not fleeing from static, cause we equipped to skirmish. Weapons only years of anguish could have furnished.
Everybody's a critic, asking do we give a shit. As long as it's flicked, you know the villain spit it. Do a hit and fool ya, sell it for cake, like the swap meet jeweler who can tell if it's fake. Make the half up front technique do perfect. The other half before he touch the mic and blew the circuit. Hand over the banjo, he be like, where your man go? Not to cut his hair off with no hole like your man Van Gogh. Land ho, hold up the mic like hand over the dough. MF on the man show, and go for broke, stand for pay better. Known to rip shows like her handmade sweater. Gave me blues like the who's who knew dudes. Made me seem rude, but baby need new shoes. It's a nuisance, take it from a black Jew. Crews who had they 2 cents, take that too. Howdy do, tell him maintain hawk. Where's the O's? He got mad flows in the vault. It's just like whatever the name called. Follow these rules to avoid the grain of salt. Number 1, you gotta keep it fun. Number 2, you know how you do. Number 3, Barry never do that for free. Maybe I do it for charity.
But you might go strike until you're unemployed. Contract is up and I'm stamping it void.
These are the limousines. You know, I wanted to go to the Hyatt, and they said they was gonna take us there. And I thought they had some money, but I see you starving.
Funny how losing my mind made me musically inclined, so I guess abuse of substance was only a sign of implicit love. Kinda like teasing a girl you're really fond of, not to cause harm. There's been enough of that, I can't succumb to pettiness. Profit starts working like in the fetishes. Your self-disclosure means less exposure. Unless you're going to depth and holding your breath, don't expect them to show you respect for your depth. Regardless of composure you kept when they wept. I'm finding that the older I get, there's a catch. You see the bolder the threats become to something I accept. With open arms, force a hard day's work without being placed in harm's way first. To flirt with disaster, can't even trip. Asking her for the digits if she acts in a manner that's complicit with every other female. But let's uncover details and be ashamed if that came back to haunt me. See, even though I grew up bumping too short, the rules on the blues were always something of a new sort. When everyone else had it locked down, I got clown. Far from suave, I came on playing corny, wishing I had a girl of my own instead of being alone. But since I don't, that's my sob story.
AMD, substance abuse, East meets West. Thoughts profitless. It's not a test. MF.
I was at my homegirl's house in Prince Poe, and Organized Confusion was over there. You know what I mean? And he was like telling me that he listens to our stuff on tour, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm literally looking at an Organized Confusion poster on my wall right now. So
right. You know,
to get that kind of to get that kind of feedback is crazy.
And dude, that's better than, you know, I mean, that's the best trophy you can have, is just having a dude like that say, hey, I'm listening to you guys, you know what I mean? You know, that there's a sense of pride there, and it's just it's appreciation for art. That's what it is. So how did you guys meet? Like, how did the group initiate?
I've known Sub since 5th grade.
Wow.
I went to this elementary school, and he was up there, and you know, he was at that age, he was kind of like artistically way more advanced than it seemed like everyone else was. Like he knew about cool stuff, cool music, cool clothes, whatever, before everyone else. And this is when he was like in 5th grade. You know? So, you know, we started becoming friends, and then we went to different junior high schools, but we kept in touch, you know, and we always talked about hip hop and stuff. And then, what was it, like, you know, the beginning of high school, we went to the same high school, and where we went to Uni High in West LA, you know, which was like, it was at that time, I think it was. They said it was the most ethnically diverse high school in Los Angeles, and it was a time where hip hop, it was the kind of renaissance for hip hop, or whatever they call it, the golden era. And
right.
Where we went, it was like hip hop high school. I mean, everyone was a graffiti writer, doing something related to that, and that was just our world, you know. And I think the sounds that we have as a group, it's still that kid from high school, you know. It's like, that's who we are, you know what I mean? Like, that part of us has never left, and I think it shines when you hear our music, you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's pretty good. I mean, you guys have been rocking together for that long. You're not at each other's throats yet. That's you must have.
I mean, Yeah, it ain't like that with us. We've definitely gotten arguments about stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I think that, you know, we never really let our egos get into it. I think one group that we modeled ourselves off of was De La Soul.
Yeah.
And if you notice that their music, you know, their longevity and so forth, they never had, I mean, Posthumous said it in his interview, he said we never had internal homie strife, you know what I mean?
Right.
You always gonna have disagreements with people you work with, and we definitely have, but at the end of the day, you know, our friendship predates us being a group, and the music is a priority, and we know that, you know, we're only as strong as our weakest link, even if it's two links. So
Right.
we're always gonna be, you know, trying to push up the other one, and you know, if you know he can't do something, I'm gonna cover it. If I can't do something, he's gonna cover it. And that's we kind of balance each other out. So it's never been an ego thing for us. You know what I mean? We're gonna stay in this. You know, being the people we were in the beginning, which were you know, humble people. And yeah, it's not something that you know, we're gonna ever let, you know, ruin our friendship.
Right. You say you guys used to talk a lot about music and everything, and a lot about hip hop. So, what was the first time that you guys kind of felt like we want to start doing this, or you know, like, who was the first writer? You know, and like where the beats come in, all this.
Well, this is how it all started. Really, was like we had Subs, me, our homie who goes by the Stig. He did some, you know, help with us in the production. And then we had this other homie that was a guitarist. He wasn't really a hip hop artist, but
yeah,
the four of us would go to like some hill in LA, and we would just have 40s and blunts, you know, and just sit up there and get wasted.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what I guess you do when you're in high school. But we had, Subs and I had an audience for our first kind of entry into hip hop, which was freestyling. And, you know, even if it was just two people, they would listen to us, you know, and they'd be like, whatever, you know. And I think when we actually decided that we wanted to put down a song is when I met that producer, you know, and he just had you know who produced Prophet's Thoughts. He just had a level of kind of insight into making beats and a vibe that I think was really unique at the time. And we were like, man, to meet this dude and to actually be privileged enough to work with him, there's no way we're not going to take advantage of being able to, you know, work with him in that opportunity.
Right.
And that's how that tape came about, you know. So, you know, when I met him, we were working on stuff. I was like, look, I got this partner in LA. You know, I really can't see myself being a rapper without this guy on board. And the producer knows, like, cool. And that's how it started, a three-way phone call, you know, like, you know, kind of meet and greet, you know. We met up at a I think it was like a Wu-Tang show in LA, or somebody was performing. And, you know, I knew from that point that Subs was going to be my partner in this hip-hop thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, at that time, we were working with No, and that's how we ended up putting those songs down.
Nice. I'll tell you what, tell me about some of your early influences.
Sure. I would say, you know, I mean, I had, like, my brother was not really a hip-hop head. He had some of the really early stuff, like Run DMC and stuff like that. And I remember I memorized the lyrics for a Run DMC song when I was, like, 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And I said them on the playground, and some kid was like, "You're good at that."
Yeah.
8 years old. So there was that, and then I think maybe the next few years, I kind of drifted away from hip hop. And I think one of the things that really kind of, you know, got me going was hearing 911 as a joke.
Yeah.
Public Enemy. I was just like, whoa, you know, like that just had such intensity to it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I remember talking to Subs around that time, and, you know, he's like, oh, yeah, he's like, you know, he's in the PE too. And you know, that time period in high school when Brand New being put out, Punks Jump Up to Get Beat Down,
Yeah.
You know, Rakim had Don't Sweat the Technique.
Man.
Gangstar had Take It Personal. This was 1990. All these are songs of 1992.
Yeah.
And that was just like that. That was stuff that at that age I would get up early on a Saturday morning just to watch these videos. And I think that definitely had an impact on us. Like, you know, that's the kind of sound that we're gonna have. These are the kind of dudes that we're gonna emulate.
Yeah.
And Subs, you know, I think was always on the same page in terms of that. You know, a lot of times too, I think one of the things that bugs people out about our process is that we don't really talk a whole lot about the songs that we're doing. He just happens to be writing something, and I happen to be writing something, and it's like the same topic.
Really?
And it happens over and over again. Or like we'll go to a photo shoot, and our clothes are matching, and we didn't plan it out that way.
Yeah.
So, like, there's some sort of like weird psychic connection, man,
Yeah,
that
no
has,
doubt.
Transcended, you know, time and space and so forth. So I think, yeah, I mean, we've always been on the same page. He kind of, I think, is a good balance in terms of influences too, because he stays way more up on the modern stuff.
Yeah.
And he kind of teaches me about what's good now, because I'm a little bit more like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Probably
he's a
more
little
like
bit
me.
More like, yeah, I'm a little bit more like hesitant about, okay, whatever. But he keeps up on like the stuff that's up now, you know, the stuff that's around now. So at least when we make the hip hop that we like, we're still kind of able to get a sense of like, okay, this is kind of some of the good stuff that's out now. You know, it's not all bad, you know, and it kind of gives us that optimism, like, okay, we can still kind of like do our thing, you know.
Overproof came out in 06.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the process on Overproof. What was the process of, did you reach out to Kool Keith and MF Doom, or Motion Man? Was it set up by your producer, or?
Well, the song with MF Doom was originally supposed to be on a compilation for Ground Control. So initially, it was not even a song that, had been made for our album. They were trying to do something called Ground Control All-Stars, where Ground Control artists collaborated with other well-known artists, right?
Yeah.
And we were kind of given our choice of like, well, who do you guys want to mess with? You know, and obviously, like, if you guys can get MF Doom, that would be great. So sure enough, they got him, and I remember being on a conference call in the office in the record label with MF Doom. And he was like, man, I heard that beat, it's hot and all this stuff. And then he came out. I was living in Oakland at the time.
Yeah.
He came out there, and we recorded it, man. It was one of the most exciting experiences.
I bet.
Yeah. But the thing was that, you know, we had done that song with MF Doom. We did Can't Call It with Peace, you know, which also was facilitated through the label at that time, Ground Control.
Yeah.
The song we did with Test One, No Guarantees, where he made the beat, that was all through the label. But what ended up happening was the label, you know, went under. So we were essentially left with half an album and no money, really, no resources. And I'm like, it was kind of a scary time, you know, because we had this ambition and we wanted to put out this album. And around that time is when I met this cat named Waze One, who was a producer up in Oakland. And I was like, can you help me with this track, you know? And then it became, can you help me with another track, you know?
Yeah.
He was dope. And he really believed in us, you know? And it was through him, through meeting Cutmaster Kurt, who facilitated the collaboration with Kool Keith, who facilitated the collaboration with Motion Man, because Motion Man was staying in Hayward at the time, which is, you know, south of Oakland. And he was like, yeah, just go holler at him. So I never even met Motion Man in person. One night I just drove to his house on a Friday night, and we got drunk and we were playing the Speak.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? So it's those kind of just very fortunate, you know, relationships that we have with people that help facilitate all these collaborations, that help, you know, put out this first album.
Yeah.
And we had cats that, you know, I had a homie that was trying to start his own kind of vinyl-oriented label, and he invested money into Overproof, and we had different people that helped us. So by no means was it like just us that made it happen. I mean, we relied heavily on people to help us, relationships that we had both, through our, being on Ground Control, and, afterwards, that we were able to put out this album that I still think is like the truest reflection of, what we saw as kids, and what our interpretation of hip hop was. Like, I think there was a quote from like Pharoah, or one of those dudes from Organized. I don't know if it was Pharoah or Prince, but he was like basically saying, like, when you listen to the first Organized Confusion album, he's like, that's not something that we could ever replicate, because it's basically every life experience that we had up until that point,
Yeah.
And after that, it's kind of like they put out a sophomore album that was equally dope, but the point is that raw, youthful energy, when you don't have any money, you don't have any resources, but you're just like, I'm gonna make this happen no matter what. That's what Overproof was.
Yeah, that was a great album.
Thank you, man.
Yo, three sheets to the wind, Sadat X. Man, that's wanted to get you a little amped up, huh?
That was interesting. The way that happened was, there was a dude that was hit. I don't know how we ended up talking to this cat. It was on MySpace or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, Sadat is gonna be out in Cali. He's looking to collaborate with some people, whatever. And I was like, we got a song we want to get him on. And he came by my pad. He was with this other dude from the Midwest that I think they were doing shows or whatever. And we went to my friend Hanif Hobbs, who's done a lot of beats. He produced that beat. We went to his crib and we just put it down with Sadat. And we wanted to do a song, I think that's one of the few songs that you ever hear that honors our namesake. We're talking about, imbibing foreign substances.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like we're not painting a pretty picture, of everything. We kind of try to give you the good and the bad,
Right.
Because I think when you talk about alcohol, you talk about drugs or whatever, there's a tendency to either go one way or another, and I think we try to just give you the honest picture of like, look, we've had some great times, getting drunk, but we've also had some pretty bad times.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's kind of what that song was about. Is like, look, it can go either way.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Looking back, what's your personal favorite track that you guys have gotten done?
Oh man, that's a good question. I would have to say this isn't a track that gets talked about a lot, but there was a song on our first album called Mercy Killings.
Mercy Killings. It's the art of putting these whack MCs out of their miseries.
For every mercy killing, a birth is stealing, and the only one it hurts is the children. Searching feelings ain't doing the dirty healing. From mud to bloodbaths to rug raps, we grow up on thug rap, can add or subtract, but damn they love gas. Check where subs at, a calm dot, in the middle of the biz trying to hit. Are you gonna let me drift, or can I get a lift? I'm getting sick of this petty shit, are you ready yet? I got the patience, not doing our op for euthanasia, cause there's far worse off youth than Asia. Here's the lesson, turn to page 1, but suckers like you already gave up. All I gotta say is pray for reincarnation, so you turn into something better than what you came from. A lot of practice to master this calculus, when the answers aren't in the back of your books. And I'ma pass and ask, can you pass the hook?
Frozen on busting, come bum, rushing over percussion, creative construction, spontaneous combustion, causing concussion. You thought it was, but it wasn't. That chronic look got you buzzing. Pushing sentences, relentless with it, subject to the predicate. Inventing shit like Edison, the mic is my medicine, so you better get dosages of pulses. I'm mixing and mixing liquids to get you in the mix of the shit that we spit and slip them in submission, spit the gifts with the rhythm. On a mission, serving competition in a second, getting fresh up in the session. Elemental B is elementary for me to get it hotter than the top of the thermometer. Bombing them, got them falling like some loser. I don't drop them like dominoes, rocking it. On a mission just to bring them compositions that complement the rhythm. I'ma give them what they missing. Just listen, pay attention, correcting the misconceptions when we step and then I reckon spit a verse of this.
First to this merciless mercy only and killing. I'm feeling ill and I'm dealing to death. That's for real, and unless you wanna get thrown in a landfill with the rest of the decomposing bodies of rappers that I slayed already, I suggest you rock fresh and you better rock steady. See that vibe for competition? Hell yeah, I'm dissing. I appreciate it when you take the time to listen, cause these mercy killings be about a violent mission like killing them, filling them full of lead, putting them hot ones in your head, blasting them, asking no questions, cause it don't matter what they said. They get it stretched like elastic, need the most surgery than plastic. It's so drastic, I take you to pick out your own casket. But I keep the funk in the trunk when it's necessary. Pucking all of these suckers and muscles cause they acting scary. Suckers buried. Bitch made, I'll hit up with a switchblade. The taxidermist mercy killers on display.
This here's an outright onslaught from the onset. I'll match with no alibi tracks. Raps and concepts, cause he ain't seen. As complicit with convention, constantly contending with the norm. Comments offend him, chaos commencing. But not content with common tensions. Canava says it's constantly calmly making entrance intent on commandeering ideas. Inspire fear in our peers. Not liking how I show enlightenment beyond my years. And I'm the type of being seen as someone's order and sorta. Psychopathic, strike the tracking and steal somewhat heroic. Heathen is humble yet headstrong. Not healing quick, but heathen bricks and heathens at hell spawn. Let's deal with this head on. If your BB is dead wrong, is what we aim to prove you for pursuing a path too problematic to provide any penance for your past. Prejudice that dependence and peddling at the cash. If you ask me, man, what you really need is a crash course and being cordial before your core self collapses and you're left without a torso. Your core audience expecting something more so. I gotta pick up the slack, snappy gaps, react to raps. I gotta reignite before I relapse, revert into my old ways. A renegade since the days I roamed the uni high hallways when we were relegated to the realm of small praise. Now we relish and recall most of y'all gave. The abuse is no respect and we're refusing to accept the redundancy and something to which we fall prey.
The power is here, the hour is near. A tower appears, grabbing the mic, arousing your fears, taking these beats to new heights. Not just to the streets, flipping these styles to do things. Not just for the freaks, they say, how does he do it? It's fluid delivery, shines, rhymes, tickle your mind. Find the rhythm inside these flows and close over the track. The way my raps in uniform will trip over hoes. I give you a dose of the lyrics I got, the styles that I drop. And now it is time, earning my props, move burning it live. I'm in it to win it, and in a minute I'll be signed. Serving at lots of fresh spots, taking this chance to fight. Pick up my pen, I'm taking this chance to write. Keeping it tight, using insight when handling mics. Battling all types of MCs of different breeds and walks of life.
Yeah, now you see what we talking about. Yeah. This is only a test of our emergency mercy killing system. You can now go back to your regularly scheduled bullshit.
Tell everybody where they can find your music at, where they can find you guys and get at you.
Most definitely. Best way to find us, if you want links to all of our social media, just go to substanceabusehiphop.com. I've heard that we're a hard group to Google. I don't agree with that at all. If you just Google Substance Abuse Hip Hop, you're going to see that website. And that website is going to link you to our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter, our YouTube. And, we're not that hard to find. Just Google Substance Abuse Hip Hop. Don't just Google substance abuse because then you'll have some problems.
Oh, yeah.
If you Google Substance Abuse Hip Hop, you will find the website, which is substanceabusehiphop.com. Yeah. And that has links to all our social media. My man Jeremiah put that together, you know what I mean, our homie up north in Oregon. He's kind of been helping us out with all the website stuff. And just go there. It has links to all our social media. We're always interacting with people. If you holler at us on Facebook or whatever, we always try to get back to everybody. And we really, really appreciate when people reach out to us and they want to give us a chance to talk on their show or whatever, you know what I mean? So, yeah, substanceabusehiphop.com. That's definitely the best way to get at us.
And you guys are on iTunes and everywhere else, I imagine, right?
Yep. And one of the things I think, too, that's great, we're on Amazon. And one of the things I think is great about Amazon is that we didn't actually make a CD for background music to Redux. It's only a digital release. But if you are an old school cat who wants a tangible product, Amazon will create a CD for you and send it to you.
Really? That's pretty cool.
If you're like me and you want that actual CD, that can be provided for you if you buy the album off Amazon.
Well, if you're like me, where's the vinyl, bro?
Right. I wish Amazon did that. We don't have a vinyl position, but we have a lot of vinyl releases. We have the Rear View. There's another Rear View remix that Cubmaster Kurt did.
Really?
On his label Threshold, and you can definitely get that if you go to Cubmaster Kurt's site, and holler at him.
I think I'm gonna look that up.
I think that there's some websites that definitely have that. And our vinyl is still out there on eBay, on different sites. Go to sites and a lot of European sites have our stuff on there. So I don't know how many copies of our first LP, Overproof, are still floating out there, but it's still out there. You know what I mean? So, and I got some vinyl. I'm actually gonna shoot you too. So.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we still got it out there, so you just gotta be a little web savvy.
Yeah, well, I would definitely appreciate that. Hey.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, hey, it's been great having you on the show, and the more exposure we can get you, the better. So, everybody get out there and show some support for these dudes. This is real good hip hop music right here.
Yep. Thank you so much, man. And definitely, shoot me a P.O. box or wherever you want me to send that vinyl, and I'll get a little package together for you.
I most certainly will. Shit, let me do you a verse real quick so you can see where I'm at. Cause we work on music too, man.
Yeah, most definitely, man.
So let me see. I can give you this one real quick. I really don't care about fashion. I have a passion for mashing that ass in with classic rapping, popping and locking before trapping. What I've got in my stocking, no dropping, got 'em break, dancing with the backspin. You know me, time for some action. I spit like a loaded Mac 10. While you acting me, I'm relaxing, kick back, watch your reaction. As soon as you think you caught me slipping, I'm gaining traction. When attacking, bashing more than a fraction of your faction. You do this in the pursuit of money, I do it for satisfaction. Don't try to rap along with me, your lungs collapsing. I got that flow that had Eminem relapsing. 37 years old, still far from a has-been. I got more rhymes than Young MC had back then. As soon as I think about the game, they pull me back in. Gotta fill in for these lames and what they lacking. Let my track spin on the plaque, throw a scratch and I write it on the napkin when a new idea is hatching. Think you in my league? Not even in my class, man. I crumble up weak MCs, throw them in the trash bin. Cashing on these suckers that thought they had a chance in heaven or hell or anything between assassin. None of the clothes that I'm wearing are matching. Color clashing. Did I mention I don't give a fuck about fashion?
Oh man, that is incredible, man. That's really great, man. What is your MC name?
I go by Teksun, Teksun. Yeah.
Oh man, that was incredible, man.
Oh, thanks, my dude.
Man, we gotta do something, man.
Well, we absolutely can. We absolutely can. The dude I work with is like one of the dopest producers in the fucking world, if you ask me. Named Ruler Y. You can look him up, Ruler Y.
Okay.
He's got several albums out. I don't have any albums out with him yet. I got one track that, I guested on, and I've been so busy with the podcast and everything that I haven't been able to record much lately. But yeah, man, the love is there. It's always been there, since I was a little squirt.
That was no BS, dude. That was absolutely incredibly dope, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
Much respect on that one.
Tracks have flavor. Trying to hurt nobody, not expecting you to take this crap they gave you. Why the fools try to hate when your tracks have flavor? Don't get us wrong, of course we like to party, cause the purpose of the song ain't trying to hurt nobody, not expecting you to take this crap they gave you. Why the fools try to hate when your tracks have flavor?